welcome to the Burgess North Project 2022. I am Elizabeth.
And I'm Don, and we'll be your MCs for today's event. And on behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to extend our appreciation of your presence, especially our directors over here, our managers, and everyone who's now in this event.
All right, thank you so much. So, do you guys happen to know what this program is all about? No, no idea, no worries. Later on, our leaders will be explaining that to you. So before we start, I just want to preface it with a saying from Chet Atkins about apprenticeship. So according to him, a long apprenticeship is the most logical way to success. The only alternative is overnight startup. But I can't give you a formula for that.
Same. I have the same thoughts. Yes. Well, the Protégé program will not be overnight startup, just like our regular North Apprenticeship program, but it does have a great formula to empower the next fellows, officers, and leaders.
Alright, so that sounds exciting, Dawn. So I don't want to keep you guys waiting. Let's hear more details about this program, and let's hear from our Senior Operations Manager, Jarrell Gutierrez, so that we can officially kick off this event.
Round of applause, guys. Thank you, Dr. And thank you everyone that's here, most especially our protege, right? So thank you very much for enduring, so to speak, the grooming process of the 9 box, the interviews as well, with Boss Jesse and Boss Andrew, right? So we appreciate you all, both batch 1 and batch 2, and the future protege in the future. Right, so as you all know, we have a passion for growth has been one of our 4 key values right here in TELUS. And now with our evolved TELUS values, it's now down to 3. But we have an updated version of our spirited teamwork core value, which is we grow together through spirited teamwork, which is exciting because this is precisely what we achieve what we aim to achieve in the VN Protégé program. Right now, we have always prioritized, talent has always prioritized growth from within. And I'm excited to share that all of the goals that we have right now here in TELUS is that 80% of all promotions should be filled, or 80% of all job requirements will be filled by internal talents. And that's exactly what we are doing right now. Right? We're going ahead and building our bench strength. We're building our pool, through I Aspire, and of course the thing that we're launching right now, which is VN Protégé, which means that in the next couple of months, hopefully in the next few weeks or years, right, we're going to be seeing these 13 protégés, right, being part of our leadership pool, our TELUS leadership pool, which will be, of course, aligned with the values that we have, and also practicing the TELUS core values because they're internal communities. So with that, I just want to congratulate everyone, and thank everybody that's here. Thank you to the leaders that have supported the program. I know that this will benefit us in the future. And thank you to the TLs and team members that are here in the audience as well. I hope that you continue to grow in your roles so that you will also be part of the program in the future. So thank you very much, guys. And, I'm really excited to meet the protege. So, yeah, thank you very much, everyone. That's it.
Thank you so much, Boss Jarrell. Yeah, you really cannot find any other company that has this kind of apprenticeship program. And to discuss further the Prodigy roadmap, may we call on my twin sister? Can you click the next slide, please? Yes. One more. Please don't get confused, guys. This is all Tin Alcampado, Operations Manager, right with Via and Bird.
Hi everyone. So good evening to all the leaders of British North. I hope everyone is as excited as I am because we're launching the first ever Vertice North Protégé. So if I'm not mistaken, this is the first ever leadership and development program for team leaders. Alright, so I'm very excited now to see our leaders here. I can feel the support. We have our side lead here, of course, Boss Obi. And we have the presence of our dear directors, Boss Joanne, Boss Jessie. We also have Boss Andrew here. And of course, our senior managers and operations managers. And also the team members who are all here to support our proteges. Alright, so my task really is to present to you the roadmap. So what lies ahead for our Vertice North Proteges. Alright, so to start off, we have the roadshow. So we're all here right now because we want to hype this event, right? But other than hyping this event, we wanted to really make sure that our leaders feel that we're invested, in the development of our leaders. As much as you guys are invested in the career and development of your team members, we want to make you feel that, we too, as your leadership team, is invested in the growth and development of your careers here in the organization. All right, so we have, of course, the games over there. We have a photo booth outside. So those are just the activities that we have ready to hype this event. All right. So the next pit stop would be the selection process. So just to give you an overview, we do not volunteer anyone here. The selection process is really, very tedious. So I just wanna give a quick shout out first off to our HRDP manager. I'm not sure if he's here. Our senior manager Harold Telaes, who conducted the nine box roadshow last week, so that everyone in the leadership team knows how to conduct the 9 box. So the 9 box, if you want to imagine, we have 9 boxes, and we place our team leaders in those boxes depending on their competencies and the skills that they have. So for the purpose of the Vertice North Protégé, we want to focus on the 8s and 9s, the top caliber team leaders of the site. Alright? So after we identify the 9 boxes, or the 9s and the 8s, and thank you to our dear operations managers who completed that activity, right? After that, despite the busy schedules of our directors last week, Boss Jessie and Boss Andrew were able to interview our proteges. After that, we have 20 participants, but for the first batch, we have the top 13 or the magic 13 for the Vertice North Protégé. And we will be introducing them one by one in a bit. Okay? Alright, for the next pit stop would be the Protégé program proper. So for the program proper, we have a 6-month program following the 70-20-10 approach. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but this is an approach shared by the Global Learning Team. Back in the days when I was part of LEAD, that's I think the first leadership and development program of this company. I was part of that, and I think 90% of the time, that's classroom or training led. That was, the environment or the setting is that you're inside a classroom and there's a trainer, teaching. But for the VN Protégé, I'm very excited because this is a very radical framework, right? 70% of the time you will be having practical application, and then 20% of the time you'll have the informal learning through your mentors. And the mentors would be our senior managers. So later on, we will also introduce our mentors for our proteges. And then of course, 10% of the time, you'll have your formal learning through self-paced courses. And thank you to Vic, because he's the one who's really involved, in helping us out here. And then finally, we have the certification phase or the final assessment, where all our proteges would have a project that you would present to the panel. All right, and after completion of that, you will now be then considered as ready now. So other proteges will be part of that pool, and then depending if there's a need specifically, not really specifically for Vertice North, but for TIP, if there's a need, then definitely we will tap all of those, proteges in that pool. So that basically would be the roadmap for the VN Protégé. If you guys have questions, anyone has questions so far? Am I clear? Yes! Okay, everyone's excited? Yes! Alright, so thank you guys.
Alright, so thank you so much, Owen Tin and Dawn's twin sister,
I know, right?
for giving us a quick rundown of the Protégé roadmap and selection process. Now, to finally meet the mentors who are going to be responsible in holding our future leaders, let me call on our queen of learning services, our learning services manager, Arlene Santos.
Thank you so much, Les. Hello, Vertice. Alright, so before we finally meet the stars of this Protégé event, let's meet first the mentors. The mentors who will guide these protégés to success and development. Alright? So if we have the mentors around, please step in front as I introduce you. Alright? So let's meet the first mentor. Next slide, please. So first mentor will be Connie Sazon. So unfortunately, Connie will not be here with us today, but let's meet her. Back to the first slide, please. So Connie is the Senior Operations Manager for Coinbase. So she's one of our site's engagement primes in Vertice North. She also supports our apprenticeship program that holds our team members to be ready for the TL role. She's been in the BPO industry for the past 17 years, and 15 of the 17 years are spent in TELUS International Philippines. Connie's free time is spent playing volleyball, cleaning the house, and taking care of her 10 fur babies. Alright? So mentors or protégés, you'll get to meet Connie in the next few weeks. And on to our next mentor. Next slide, please. We have Maverick Almedo. Maverick, in front, please. Yeah, because we have a camera here. Mentors, show your beautiful faces and handsome faces here. There's a spot there. There you go. So, Maverick joined TELUS 2 days before the 2019 or before 2019 ended. So that would be on the 30th of December to be the SOM for Hertz, and then eventually supported TransUnion on June 2021. She took with her 15 years of experience from another BPO, managing a telecommunications account. She also had her fair share of training and coaching leaders before she had her, leaders before she is, where am I? Leaders before she's excited for the opportunity to be a prodigy mentor. She's the lead of the North Apprenticeship Program, Thanks Mavic, which focuses on our team members' career development. She loves watching U.S. crime shows and spending time with her 7-year-old kid. Alright, so everyone, this is Mentor
Malvic Olmedo. Thank you so much, Mal. Alright, thank you. And next mentor. Alright, so we have Jason Andal. Do we have Jason around? Alright, but still, let me introduce to you Jason. He's the FedEx Senior Operations Manager. Hold on. We have a resume here. Okay, let me read it. It's really small. He's been in the BPO industry for 16 years. He started as an agent in 2006, and with his hard work and leadership skills, he was promoted as a team lead, trainer, operations manager, and senior manager in the same company. He was part of the pioneering team to launch a technical campaign supporting different regions in the US. As an OM, he also launched a new campaign where he developed and rolled out the coaching to the behavior. So it's a project to mitigate the challenges in meeting the client KPIs. With the success of this project, not only were they able to exceed the client's primary KPIs, which is CSAT and conversion, but they were also able to win another line of business from the same campaign. With this expansion, he was chosen to lead this LOB as a senior operations manager. He is also a health enthusiast. Prior to the pandemic, he likes working out at the gym and playing volleyball and badminton during his rest days. He likes baking, cooking healthy meals for his family. He also a certified plantito, which help him distress, especially during this time of pandemic. Alright, so Jason, wherever you are, yeah, so meet our protege soon. Thank you. Next mentor. She's here. Extine. So we have Christine Mendoza or Extine. Here. Mayumi. Say hi to the camera. Hi. Alright, so she's the SOM for Samsung. So Extine joined the company in 2002 as an email support agent and has supported different programs in different sites since then. In 2015, she launched AOL Billing in Market and was promoted as an operations manager in 2016. Recently, she was promoted as a senior operations manager supporting Samsung, one of the newest campaigns in the company. So congratulations again, Extine. And let me ask you, when did you join Vertis North? 2019. So in 2019, Extine joined VN. Outside work, Extine is a fan of solo traveling and exploring different cities and beaches in and out of the country. Alright, so proteges, meet your mentor, Christine Mendoza. Thank you so much. Next mentor. KB or Mr. Cristino Valle. Yeah, unfortunately, KB won't be able to join us at the moment because he's also attending project or nesting, or he's in training for the program that he's supporting. So KB is one of the senior managers supporting T-Mob. He's actually in training now for T-Mob. He has been in the organization for the last 18 years. Prior to T-Mobile, KB supported Solitran, Via, and Bird. He also spent 14 out of 18 years with TELUS International programs. So the TELUS Internal. KB is a handyman and spends his free time doing wood and metal work. He's also a hobbyist and breeds African lovebirds with roughly 150 birds in his collection. Wow! So aside from career development, guys, you might want to pursue a different career. Yeah? Woodwork and birds, breeding birds. Alright, thank you. Next. Alright, I guess last but not the least, we have AJ Piamonte. Here in the middle, please.
supporting Europcar, UK, ANZ, and Fox US. He has 16 years of BPO and captive center operations experience with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and financial services business. From LinkedIn, guys. He has a proven track record in managing vendor sales performance, back office operations, technical support, and customer services in various channel setups such as voice, chat, email, and social media. Yeah, AJ, please make sure that you've already closed the LinkedIn because they might, reach out to you, might offer. So AJ would spend his free time cooking and traveling with his family. And I've heard, may sample. Next time. Next time.
The talent actually is to share, things that I've learned from, past contact center experience through this program. So that's my main talent. I think
So he thought it's a different protege. Yeah, he just learned today that this is for. Alright, and that's the last, right? Yes. Okay, so let me pass you back to Dawn and Les to continue our program.
Alright, thank you, Arlene. Let's give Arlene time to breathe. Alright, and speaking of breathe, our next performer this time will give you such a very wonderful number. So before we move on to the next program, this Filipino Pride bagged not just one, not two, not even three, but 9 medals in World Championships of Performing Arts in 2019. And that's me. Just kidding. Here to showcase their talent, let's give a round of applause to VS singing sensation, Joanna Miranda.
Good evening, everyone. It's such an honor to share with you my talent. And again, I'm Anna. They call me Anna. I'm from Right with Via. There's a hero when you look inside your heart. You don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer if you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And the hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and grow strong, and you finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. Thank you. It's love. If you face the world alone, no one reaches out a hand for you to hold. You can find love if you search within yourself, and the emptiness you felt will disappear. And then the hero comes along with strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and to know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, we can start when it's wrong, and you finally see the truth, that a hero lies in you. But no one knows, dreams are hard to follow. Don't let anyone tell them away. Hold on, there will be tomorrow. In time, you'll find your way. Better do alone. It's meant to carry on and to cast your fears aside, and to know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, you can start to and you're strong, and you finally see the truth, that a hero lies in you. That a hero lies in you. Thank you very much. And I still have one more song. Good. Sige lang, Ana. Thank you. And this is for everybody. Of course, our protege, for every one of you, especially me. Because I'm a newbie. I'm a newbie here in the company, and I'm very happy here at Telus. Happy here.
Ana, ang galing mo. Ito score mo. Pag kailangan mo ng joke, Ana. Charot. Charot. Charot.
Search high and low, follow every byway, every path you know, climb every mountain, ford every stream. Follow every rainbow till you find your dream. A dream that we walk along with happy. Every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you find your
na lang kami. Protégé, tinapos na eh.
Wow! Ayan! So, this next song, gusto ko mamakiyan. Parang tapos ang event. Okay. I was able to catch my breath now. So, let's move on to meeting our dear Verdi's North directors. So, at one point in their career, or up until now, they have been mentors as well. Alright? And our senior operations managers were once there or are still their proteges. Alright? So, we'll have them in a leadership forum. I'll introduce them one by one in a little bit. But let's understand what is the objective of a leadership forum. Is this just to put them on the spot? Or to just simply introduce them to you? So, what is a leadership forum? So, this is for us to gain insight with what is happening in the organization or in our industry. And this is also to inspire our proteges and high potentials to become future leaders. And for us to learn lessons from the experienced leaders. And also to provide access and visibility to the audience who don't see them much. Okay? So, even the team members, at the back, so meet your Verdi's North directors. Directors, please. Let's start with Mr. Andrew Luzana, Operations Director for FedEx and Europcar. If you can take the seat here. Maybe we can have two here, two there, and then Sir Obi will be in the middle. Then we also have our Director, Joan de Guzman, Operations Director for Coinbase and Samsung. We have our dear Director, Jessie Kua, Operations Director for Solitran, Via, Bird, Hertz, and TransUnion. We have our Operations Director, Delon, for T-Mobile. And of course, our Senior Operations Director, our site lead, Mr. Oliver Benedura. Definitely, your seat is in the middle. Okay. There. Yes. Okay, so, okay. The first one will be for Sir Obi. Okay, so, dear directors, we will have 4 categories for the leadership forum. So, we'll have questions around leadership, strategic leadership. We'll have benefits and consequences. We'll also beg for specifics. And the last one will be application to the audience. Kinabahan sila, hindi nila natulog. Alright, so first question is for our site lead, Sir Obi. Question, what is your definition of leadership?
Wow. Can I call a friend? Well, for me, leadership definitely is the ability of one person to influence a group, right? To have the same cause, to have the same vision or mission. So once you become a leader, right, it is expected of you that this leadership trait is something that you will do. If you can't influence a group of people, definitely you will not become leaders. Alright.
Oh, wow! Word! Okay. Apologies. Take note. You have to listen. Alright? So even the mentors.
Follow-up question, sir. Describe your leadership style and how you lead others.
Well, I should ask them.
We'll get there.
I should ask them. I don't like the sound of this. Parang mo. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. My leadership style, actually, I am strict, so definitely. But I adapt to the current situation. Meaning, I can be flexible, right? And
Battery, guys. Another mic, please.
I can be, yun, mas malakas oh. I can be flexible in different scenarios because a good leader can adapt to different environment. Meaning, if you're put on a spot where it's complicated, there's a lot of criticism, there's a lot of opportunities that needs to be fixed, then as a leader, you have to adapt immediately, right? So that you can address any opportunities that is put forward, right? But in terms of style, I'm cool, like Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Sino man yung mga dyan? Mga, definitely, I want to empower my team. Right? I'm not a leader who will impose what you need to do in order for you to deliver our goals as a team. I will empower you, help you to make sure that you, as a leader yourself, can develop right, based on your own ability to adapt to the current challenge. So I'm a leader who wants empowerment, not only in myself, but also to my direct reports and my team. But I'm strict, right? But of course, sabi nga nila, okay, you can easily approach me. I look like this, but I'm approachable. Sabi nila, a lot of people get intimidated with my facial expression, but it is only a facial expression. That's for sure. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Ogie. And if he's not the coolest, definitely he's one of the coolest side leads of all. Do you agree?
Okay.
Yes! Ogie daw. Ogie. And I agree with everything that he said. Not everyone will, appreciate your leadership style, but you have to look at the intention of the leader. All right? Because no leader, would want something bad for the business to happen. All right? Okay, so how about let's hear it from Sir Jesse. Sir Jesse, same question. What's your leadership style?
Yeah, so my leadership style, I'm more of a coaching person. So usually, if someone makes a decision, I let the person makes it, but at the same time, coach in terms of how we can make it better. And at the same time, I can be direct. So for some of you know, sometimes when I ask questions, it's really sometimes it's really tough, right, to have a conversation with me. So I'm very direct because I wanted everyone to understand that we need to do something about whether performance or strategy that we need to follow. So sometimes it hurts or sometimes it's really difficult, it's pressuring, but the intention is to be better, right? Sometimes people will tend to feel bad if I'm too direct when we have conversations, but at the end of the day, right, this is for the benefit of everyone, that our intention is to be the best. So that's why it's direct, but at the same time, there's a coaching opportunity in terms of working with everyone. So that's why.
Okay, thank you. And that is true.
We've experienced that earlier. He's direct. So it hurts. Alright, so definitely the rest, they've already prepared to answer that question. So we'll ask them a different question, right? Okay, let's move on to our director, Joanne. So for Madam, what are the most important decisions you make as a leader?
Yeah, so this is my favorite, no? Because, as I've seen, not all leaders are confident in delivering a bad news. Delivering a bad news, or I may say, they're not confident in driving accountability, right? Driving accountability, ownership. Because sometimes these tough conversations, most of the leaders would think this would change their image. Some of the leaders, if they do this in their leaders, they would think that the leaders will think of them otherwise. Thus, they're very hesitant to have these tough conversations and, to drive accountability. But, in a nutshell, driving accountability is also helping your team leaders because to be a successful and efficient team leader, you have to start owning to matters and making yourself accountable to all the decisions and actions that you do. So I would say, for the most part, this is something that as a leader, it's an art as a leader to be able to deliver with confidence and with clarity in purpose why you have to make such decisions to unemployment.
Thank you so much. Mataas score ni Madam sa English. Napansin nyo, may start, may middle, tapos may kompleto sa end. May recap. Thank you so much. Same question for Sir Delon. What are the most important decisions you make as a leader?
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here talking to you guys about leadership. Sitting here with Obi and the rest of the directors. What are some of the decisions I make as a leader? Is that the question?
Yes. Again, what are the most important decisions you make as a leader?
For me, I think, and I'm thinking back to when I was manager, senior manager, director. The most important decisions that I made and I continue to make are people decisions, right? In terms of, for me, one of the most is who do I have in my team? I think for me that's one of the most critical things as a leader that you can think about and you can have. If you don't have a strong team, right, nothing you can do or any action plans that you run, nothing will follow. Nothing will follow. So for you to have a good team is one of the most important decisions you would make as a leader at any point in your time once you become, right from being a team leader up the chain. And it gets even more critical as you climb up the ladder. So always think about who's there in your team, how efficient they are they doing are they in the right positions in terms of responsibilities that you've given them. Those are some of the things that I always think about, and I try to make those decisions to suit the individual. And for me, I think that's one of the most important that the rest will all follow if you can have a good team, right? Whether it's revenue, whether it's engagement, whether it's CPMs, all of that will follow if you have a strong team below you. And that goes, like I said, down the chain as well. So that's my philosophy on it.
Thank you so much. So I like your answer. So definitely, a skill or a trait of a strong and good leader is for you to be able to deliver tough news. Some wouldn't even want to carry, a difficult conversation, right? And for Sir Dylan's answer, sometimes it doesn't matter, how the journey will go, where you're even going.
but the most important is who's with you during that journey. So, did sama ako dito? Okay, next question is for Sir Drew. What are some reasons you pursued leadership roles? Roles, so plural, because definitely before becoming a senior operations manager, you've been an officer, right? So why pursue those leadership roles up to the point that you're now a senior operations manager?
First is development. When I was an agent, I really did not see myself, pursuing this career. So, but as I was, learning about the job, I got interested. So the first thing that you should put in mind when you're trying to pursue something is the why. You should have a why. Why do you want to be a manager? Why do you want to be a director? Why do you want to be a trainer, a workforce manager? Because without that why, then there will be no drive within you, within your head, your heart. So it will be pointless. So I'm here now. It's because I was inspired also by the people about me. So when I was an agent, I saw a really good trainer. I wanted to be a trainer. And then I went up, became a training director. And then I saw people who transitioned from training to operations that were also excelling. So those were the whys. And I felt like it would be a good jump in terms of developing myself and my experience. So there, I'm here now. And then one more thing, no? So I was just recently reading a book. No? Us as human beings, we have what you call nature. No? So be aware of that. May nature tayo as human beings. So you will have to also look at the side where you need to nurture yourself. So always think about that when you're pursuing something. Diba? So there.
All right, thank you so much. And please hold on to the
Go
microphone.
ahead.
Yes, so we have a follow-up question. Let me jump to the category of application to the audience, since you've just mentioned reading a book, right? So from each of you, please share with our proteges the resources that you can suggest for them to maybe read, to watch, or whatever. Anything that would help them, grow and develop. So let's start with Sir Drew. So what was that book?
There are so many resources that you can take advantage now. So you have your social media, you have the internet, so it's everywhere. Unlike before, way back 2002, 2000, the earlier times, the resources were a bit limited and you'll be stuck with books, stuck with seminars, stuck with applications to school to develop yourself. Now, it's or because of digitalization, everything's online. You don't even need to go to a bookstore to buy a book. So, but what I would want to share is one of my favorite books is Four Disciplines of Execution. So, in terms of making sure that you're able to execute plans, because planning is so easy, diba? I know for a fact that every one of you can just write down a plan, but at times executing it is the hardest. So the four disciplines of execution makes it so simple, and I've seen it really successful in some of my previous accounts, programs, or companies. So if you have time, do that. Then you have podcasts, right? You have TED Talks. All of those snippets of, for example, if you want to look at leadership, then you go there. If you want to look at relationships, you can also go online. That's everywhere. You are probably luckier than us in terms of resources right now. And up to now, I still look at it. So it's one of the things that I do when driving, when I'm alone. So
Alright, thank you so much. Let's advertise that again. That's four disciplines of execution. So, proteges, please take note. How about you, Sir Jesse?
So, to be honest, I'm not really fan of reading. Yeah, it's not really, yeah. But in the technology right now, like YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, there's a lot of leadership snippets or courses that you can take that you can look at online for free. So you can check YouTube, you just search leadership. For LinkedIn, there's a lot of leadership as well because I think LinkedIn is also one of the good ways of building your career. Kasi in LinkedIn, right, it's a social media for it's like a social media for like job pero it's more of creating your profile, right? It's an online version. But that's just beside the point. LinkedIn is also a platform for you to learn other things because there's a lot of leadership articles there that you can use. So for those who are like me who's not fond of reading, so you capitalize on those videos. I'm not really into in specifics, but same with TED Talks. If ano yung nafe-feel mo from yourself that's where you need to work on, you search for that skill set. So for me, for example, executive presence. So sharing, my experience. It's not ano kasi when I applied for a director position with my previous organization, it's not a walk in the park. I failed twice applying for the director. But it didn't stop me there because they gave the feedback to me that I need to develop executive presence when it comes to being a director because that differentiates you from being a senior manager to a director. Because you are representing not only your program but you're representing the organization to your daily life. So, hanap ako. Research article about executive presence, start reading it, not reading, but watching it from YouTube and all. And then pinilit ko magbasa. Right? I'm not really fan of reading, pero pinilit ko magbasa. Because that would really help you in terms of your development. But at the end of the day, you are accountable. So in terms of the channel or the avenue that how you wanted to learn about leadership, it's up to you. But there's a lot of articles that you can find online or in social media or YouTube.
Alright, thank you! Try nyo din yung TikTok, no? Parang YouTube na rin siya. Sir Ruby!
Kaya, TikTok, yeah. Yeah, like what they said, there's a lot of references, right, out there for you to learn and get some best practices. But for me, it's a case-to-case basis depending on the situation where you're into. You have to develop your own, leadership style, leadership traits. But once you have that, right, it's going to be difficult to execute it, right? If it's not fitting on the scenario that you currently have, right? I would suggest that you read all those, right? To make sure that you understand how to use those skill sets, right? How to use those references. But I would suggest read the book of Michael Jackson. Yeah, this is it. So you'll see some notes and probably some behavior of an artist that can be adapted as a leader. One thing is being perfectionist. It's not always something that will help you, but if you are keen to attention to details, then it will definitely help you. Like what the chief always said, the devil is in the details. Right? Don't just look when you become a leader. Don't just look at the surface of the issue. Always think, ask, maybe 5 whys before you say yes. That's the opportunity that I need to fix. And once you practice, the behavior of fixing a problem, then it will help you become successful. So for me, there's right at this point in our generation, like what they said, there's a lot of references. You can always search the internet to get the references you need. But when you do that, pick the behaviors, pick the skill set that you want to learn, once you master that, then you can use it depending on the situation where you're in. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And Miss Joanne. I was laughing because just like Jessie, I'm not fan of reading books. In fact, I just read one book. Yung natapos ko I'll share, and that book is Why Men Marry Bitches. Oh, that's the only book I read. Nothing else. Okay. Anyway. So, I've been in the industry for 18 years. Been a leader, I would say, roughly around 12 years. Roughly around 14 years. So, yeah, my best teacher, since I'm not, to me, leadership kasi is not scientific. And we all have different perspectives on that. So, my best experience, my best teacher is actually through my personal experience. Like what Andrew mentioned earlier, you guys are lucky because during our time we don't have this leadership projects, leadership trainings. Promoted ka na, salang ka. And I'll share a story. When I got promoted as a supervisor, the following day I started the shift. So, it was outbound back then. Walang pumapasok na calls. So, siguro mga half day, I declared na downtime. Nung pa lang, hindi ko na on yung dialer. Just because, no one is teaching us what to do, A, B, C, D. We don't have booklets, we don't have playbooks that we follow, nothing. You learn from your own mistakes, you learn from your own experience. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Never be afraid to try things. As long as there is integrity, right? Do what, and as long as you're doing things with your whole heart, with good intentions, with pure intentions, do not be afraid to experiment. Because that's how you learn. That's your best teacher. Nothing else, right? Earlier, you mentioned different books, but come to think of it, the environment changes every year. Every second, every minute. Last year, you're dealing with, 2 years, 3 years ago, you're dealing with millennials. Now, here we are, the waves of Gen Z. So, new books, they are not applicable to all these generations. You have to make adjustments, right? So, just be observant. Know how to read people, know how to deal with different types of people, and definitely you'll be successful. That, to me, that's very critical and that's very important, right? How you deal with your peers, how you deal with your colleagues, how you deal with your team members, how you deal with your bosses. You start from that. Build relationship, and the rest will follow. You gain their trust, and you make a good team. Thank you so much. And I agree with that. We are never 100% ready. Right? So if the opportunity presents itself, if you're being qualified, you have the hard work, you have the passion, grab it and learn the craft. Right? Thank you. Sir Delon.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So, what can you recommend or suggest, any resources that would help them improve their skills?
So I think all of them have covered most of it, right? But I think I agree with Joanne. Not everything is in the books. For me, everything is about the experience, the personal experience. So if I'm dealing with millennials, and it's a problem with them, I will go and talk to them personally. And that's the way I learn, right? More experiential. But also, if I have to recommend something, I would recommend the Harvard Business Review, right? That's something that I've always subscribed to. It's a free subscription. You just put in an email address, and they keep sending you the articles every week, every 2 weeks, and it's very relevant of what's happening in this time and in this space. And it's with experts, right? Experts give their opinions and talks and stuff, and it's not a book. It's just maybe 2 pages, 3 pages, very relevant, very to the point, and things that you can really understand and you can imbibe in your leadership traits as well. So that's something that I would recommend if people can go and subscribe to the Harvard Business Review. It's a free subscription.
All right, thank you so much. And please hold on to the microphone. We'll move to the next category. And I'm also subscribed to the Harvard Business Review. So again, it's free. Please subscribe to that. It's you won't get sleepy. It's just very short and meaty. So every day you'll get a new article. My favorite book is Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. So take a look at that. We also have you'll find one for free online. Okay, so Sir Delon, let's move on to benefits and consequences. So tell us, what's the biggest risk you took and why?
Uh, from a career standpoint, I think the biggest risk that I think I'll mention two big risks. One is obviously moving to the Philippines and working here. I was in India working for a call center there, established myself for almost 12 years. When the opportunity came to move to Cebu and start up similar to what I'm doing now, like T-Mobile, setting up the call center for an international airline. I think that was one of the biggest risks that I've taken because I left, everything that I've done, built up my career, everything in India. I left all of that to come here to set this up, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go. The risks that were involved, I had to move. I left my family, moved to a new city, had to establish myself again, right from scratch. So that was one of the biggest risks that I took as a career professional. The second, of course, was leaving and then joining when the opportunity came knocking for TELUS. Right, I was with that company for 15 years before I got this opportunity. So leaving again something that's stable, that I was familiar with, leaving my comfort zone. Like I said, first moving from India to Cebu and then moving from Cebu to Manila, joining a new company and so. So I think those were the two big risks that I took, and I think they were looking at where I am now. I think it's paid off in time. So those are the two big risks that I would identify with.
Alright, and I think, sir, you made the right decision because first, it's more fun in the Philippines and it's happy here, right? Yes! Okay.
The best decision of my life.
The best decision of his life.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, let's have the last question. And this goes to Sir Obi. Let's beg for specifics. And this question is very appropriate since we have our proteges, alright? So, the purpose of having proteges is for us to build new leaders. Okay, so the question is, at what stage in leadership should you start thinking about succession planning?
Immediately. Right, so when you become a leader, immediately you have to put as a priority who will be your successor, right? It cannot be tomorrow or the following day. It needs to be immediate. Why? Because every time you step on the ladder of leadership, right, you become hungry for more. Right? Some people would say, "Oh, I'm already content with what I have," but in reality, contentment never ends. Huh? Contentment never ends. We're human nature. That's the nature of the human being. We are never gonna be contented. So, in order for you to be ready on your next role, you have to look back, right? Who are the people that can be the successor of your role, right? In our current industry, this BPO industry, it is important that we always build our succession, our bench, regardless, even if on a family setup, right? In a family setup, there's mom, there's dad, there are children. And if I'm a dad and I look at my children, I would always want to have a son who I can train, right? And provide guidance so that my son can be a good father in the future. Same with the mom. The mom prepares the children. So in the industry, in Telos International, I always would encourage everybody immediately, right, to look at your successor, look at your team. And I always tell this, it may be off topic, but surround yourself, right, with the best people. Right? Surround yourself with people that you will learn from. Diba? Look at yung mga directors, right? The directors that I have in Vertis North, they might be better than me, right? But that's fine. Right? I want to learn from them as well because these two gentlemen came from a different company, right? John and Dillon came from different company. And every time we interact with each other, I learn and pick up things based from their experiences. And as a senior director, I always want to prepare my team in the event that something happened because I'm not content. I'm hungry. I'm looking at the position of Mireille Magalona. What will I do as a senior director to get her position? Right? Or maybe look at Rajiv Daan. Diba? Kaya kasama ko siya lagi sa diving. That's a tactic, that's a strategy. Diba? And during the drinking session after diving, even while on the boat, I asked him, hey, what do you do if this happens? Right? Rajiv is one of the best mentors Telos International Philippines. I'm telling you, he can immediately give suggestions on how to deal with things, not just with your team, with your clients, with the CRMs, even with other businesses. He can recommend stuff, right? So it's also important, one is to surround yourself with the people that will make you better, right? If napapansin nyo that the people around you are negatrons, stay out. Keep them out. When I joined the BPO industry, when I graduated college, I first ventured in the manufacturing industry, car manufacturing industry, right? So from there, I got bored and saw that there's a booming business, which is BPO in 2003. So I joined. And when I joined, I always look at how can I be when I was an agent, how can I be the SME? As an SME, kailangan you know the product, you can you know the product very well so that you can coach agents. When I became an SME, how can I be that team captain? Right? And when I was a team captain, how can I be the operation manager? I need to learn this, I need to know P&L, I need to know workforce management, all that stuff. When I was an OM, how can I be like Jason, the SOM? I need to handle other programs, not only the programs that I support, so I can be, I can have higher or bigger team. And then when I am an SOM, how can I be a director? Right? And from a director, how can I be the site leader? So, keeps going on, right? So now I'm looking at Rajiv. How can I be Rajiv? Right? And it will take a lot from me in terms of effort, right? To learn how his mind works. But little by little, I'm gonna try and do that. But yeah, if you are surrounded by megatrons, stay out. Surround yourself with people that will help you get promoted. Kaya sabi nga nila, sip-sip. Yeah, when I was an agent, PC, you want coffee? Diba? Oh, if you want coffee, I'm going to the cafeteria. You want me to grab you some? Diba? PC, can I join what's happening? Ano meron dyan? Diba? Kailangan chismoso ka rin, diba? From time to time. Right? And I think one thing that I can advise you, there will come a time that you will be challenged. Not only by your team, by your direct boss, right? But also by the people or your peers. You will be challenged. And how you react to it will be your best experience. Right? I cannot tell what challenges you will face, but the biggest ask or question is, how will you react and address the challenge? And when you address that, try to contemplate, did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? And lastly, ask for feedback. And welcome the feedback. As humans, we don't want to hear criticisms. Tama ba? Diba? Kahit yung pananamit mo, minsan pag may narinig kang baduy naman yan, ayaw mo eh. Lalo na sa leadership. Right? Especially in leadership. It's hard to accept feedback, especially if it's negative or something that is an opportunity that you get to work on. Lagi mo iniisip, I know that. I'm not like that. But if, in the other's point of view, you are. And you need to improve. So learn how to accept criticism, because the best criticism will make the best leader as you want to be. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Directors, thank you for your time and thank you for the wisdom.
Did we answer yung bang mga questions nila ay galing sa inyo? Ha? O mga pautot lang nila?
Ano may EFT
Do you guys have questions for us?
Do we have any phone-in questions? Anyone?
Nakapula ko 8 hours for this Q&A.
Ngayon taas na kamay. Huwag mo mahiyak. Nine? Alright, shall we proceed? Thank you so much, directors. You may go back to
Thank
your
you.
happy places. Thank you. Now we can proceed to it's meeting the proteges, right? So let me give it back to Don and Les for the introduction of the proteges. All right, thank you so much, dear directors. I've learned something today.
I've learned a lot.
Yeah. And this time around, we'll be meeting the proteges. So these are the people, these are the officers who have undergone several assessments by our mentors. And let's proceed.
Let's proceed.
All right, so congratulations to Marisol Castañeda of CL from Colgate.
Evangeline Yee from Salty Track.
All right. Please come in front. Dear TL. Hi, what's up? Hi.
Right.
Bakit lang? Hi. All right. Next up is Romeo Remoledo Jr. of CL from Europcar.
Of course, our very own Meryl Pasamik of CL from Rayavia.
Ako rin, meron our very own MJ Gonzalez of CL from Works.
And Alan Salcedo of CL from Europcar.
Ang very own ulit. Dana Balboa, senior team leader from Solitrack.
And April Villedo of CL from FedEx.
Congratulations to Cristel Mariano of CL from Coinbase.
Very good. Julio.
Julio Bateng. Julio Bateng of RTL from TransUnion.
And Michael Hafalia of CL from Earth. Maria Ria Alonso of CL from Europcar.
And last but not the least, Erickson Sylvia of CL from Solitrack.
Alright, so,
Photo op muna sila.
photo op.
Kasi pa po sila sa pictures. Okay, I haven't seen it. Feel at home.
Upo ka guys.
Para mag-gash tayo sa TV screen, mag-ganon si Dura.
Dikit-dikit lang mga sis.
Okay na po, nakasilip na lahat. Alright, congratulations! Congratulations! Guys, remember these faces because oh, wait, a picture with the directors. I'll go. What was Olivia? Was Andrew? Was Jesse? Can we also include the mentors too? What's Jared?
There you go. Hi, Jason.
Guys, usap tayo para... Yan.
Very, very quick. 3 seconds, ah.
Ako bahala sa pisen. Pipirmahan ko pag ano. Pipirmahan ko? Ako pipirmahan.
There you go.
Yeah!
Directors and proteges, please stay. Yes, we will go straight to the game. We will have a very short game.